Babylonian demons were a legion, and most of them exceedingly malevolent. Legion refers to a large group. It may simply mean many, and was used to refer to a group of demons. The earliest account of the exorcism allegedly performed by Jesus existed in the Gospel of Mark. The Gospel of Luke, they shortened the story, which retained most of the details. And then in the Gospel of Matthew, they shortened the account dramatically and created a mashu, a twin, because the possessed man is not alone. In the Gospel of Matthew, the one becomes two. In this version, the demons are unnamed. In Babylon, they are the legion, known as the Udug-hul, said to be good and bad demons, but who can't be told apart, also known as tricksters and deceivers. And I'm afraid that is where you get the good. There is no good. Their joy is in evil, hence the Udug-hul, a pitfall demonic being who gets joy from evil. Another connection with the Anunnaki and the problem with this account, fearing that Jesus would drive them out of the world and into the abyss, the Pazuzu. They beg him instead to cast them into a herd of pigs on a nearby hill, which he does, but I don't think so. The pigs then rush into the sea, the Pazuzu, and are drowned. The demon's intention is to be freed from the abyss. It appears to be lex talionis, an eye for an eye, a soul for a soul. Why would the demons fear the abyss, then drown themselves in the sea? The demon's purpose is said to be to kill the host. According to this account, Jesus allowed it, but I don't think so. The only other figure who could do so was Pazuzu, and I remind you of the goddess Bao, meaning domestic pig. And when the bow breaks, the cradle will fall, the complaint of the offspring of Zu, and that would be legion. And the term bow now referring to being placed within a goddess, alternatively domestic pig. Babylonian demons were legion, and most of them exceedingly malevolent. The Udug-hul, or Utu-ku. Utu is the son of sin, but of course there is no connection, although there clearly is. The Utu-ku, the Utu plus ku, was an evil spirit that lurked generally in the desert. Pazuzu is a dust demon, the devil in the desert, as is the fallen angel Azazel. Duda-el was his prison in the desert, where it lay in wait for unsuspecting travelers, but did not confine its haunts to the more barren places, for it was also to be found among the mountains, in graveyards, and even in the sea. An evil fate befell the man upon whom it looked. The Rabesu is another lurking demon that secretes itself in unfrequented spots to leap upon the passers-by. The Labatu is strangely enough spoken of as the daughter of Anu. She was supposed to dwell in the mountains or in marshy places, and was particularly addicted to the destruction of children. Possibly originally a goddess, opposed to the children of the Abzu Legion, and because of this demon, Pazuzu was needed, as Babylonian mothers were wanton to hang charms of Pazuzu around their children's necks to guard them against the horrible hag, and that is how they tricked people into invoking Pazuzu publicly. The Sedu, or Shedu, appears, like Pazuzu, to have been, in some senses, a guardian spirit. It is often appealed to at the end of an invocation, along with the Lamassu, a spirit of a similar type. These malign influences were probably prototypes of the Arabian jinn, to whom they have many points of resemblance. A spirit being cast into a person reminds me of the anthropomorphic demons. Many Assyrian spirits were half human, half supernatural, and some of them were supposed to contract unions with human beings, the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, Lu, light bright shining, treachery, lies, deceit. Are we not illuminated, enlightened? In this regard, the Assyrian spirits were similar to the Arabian jinn. The union is the good from the good and bad Udug Hul, ash, dust, or clay, cognate with one, unique, alone, wish, desire, wolf, curse, and spider. The offspring of such unions was supposed to be a spirit called Alu, which haunted ruins and deserted buildings, and indeed entered the houses of people like a ghost in order to steal their sleep. Ghosts were common enough, and those who had not been buried were almost certain to return to harass mankind. It was even dangerous to look upon a corpse, lest the spirit, or Ed-Imu, of the dead man should seize the beholder. Labatu the Caesar, Dibara the Caesar, Dib, Dab, cognate with Lu, light, bright, shining, treachery, lies, and deceit. They are the shining ones. They are a legion. Many names, many faces, the entity. Legion refers to the seizure of souls. The Assyrians seem to be of the opinion that a ghost, like a vampire, might drain away the strength of the living, and long formulas were in existence containing numerous names of haunting spirits, one of which it was hoped would apply to the tormenting ghost, the poltergeist, and these were used in the purpose of exorcism. To lay a spirit, the following articles were necessary: 7 small loaves of roast corn, the hoof of a dark-colored ox, flour of roast corn, and a little leaven. The ghosts were then asked why they tormented the haunted man. The flour and leaven were kneaded into a paste in the horn of an ox, the horn of abundance, the cornucopia, and then one for my peeps. A small libation is poured into a hole in the earth, a libation for those in the pit or abyss. The leavened dough was then placed in the hoof of an ox. The word good, God, also means bull, ox, or carp, so it could easily be a mistranslation. Alternatively, one could do it in a bull or carp. which would indicate that it was not the same ceremony, when in fact it is. The fish god is the good god. I'm afraid that depends on perspective. The leavened dough was placed into the hoof, and then a libation is poured out with the incantations to the god Shamash, Utu, the Ayazu, the son of sin, the offspring of the blade, a symbol of justice, Shamash. In another case, figures of the dead man and the living man to whom the spirit has appeared are to be made, the voodoo that they do so well, and libations are poured out. Could that be the change in the Gospel of Matthew, where the person changes into two, Moses, Moshe, Mashu, kid or twin he-goat? I believe so. It isn't just a belief, it is a fact. Then the figure, like the Apkallu in the witchcraft, is to be buried, and that of the living man to be purified with water. But that water would be from the Abzu, so it may also refer to Legion, the Abzu. The whole ceremony being typical of sympathetic magic, which thus supposed the burial of the body of the ghost and the purification of the living man. In the morning, incense was to be offered up before the sun god Shamash at his rising. That means everything done during the night was attributed to sin, his father, Lord Zu. Sweet woods are also to be burned, and a libation of sesame wine poured out. If a human being was troubled by a ghost, it was necessary that he should be anointed. The texts have implied that he was the chosen one, and this in a totally different context. They were to be anointed with various substances, similar to dressing the dead in the funeral rite. The anointing was done in order that the result of the ghostly contact might be nullified. In modern baptism, it is said to be done to indicate that you are a follower of Christ, or Ayazu, but the subject here is demonic possession, and this is probably why anointing also means afflicting. And that would be the difference between Jesus and Ayazu, like my name, An-D. It is a derivative from the old gods. The reason we use these names is because of the kings and queens. The people followed suit to protect their children, and that is how they normalized invocational names within society. In the same way, I have no connection to the eagle god. I say Jesus has no connection to Ayazu, apart from the name being the root derivative. To finish, an old text says, "When the ghost appeareth in the house of a man, there will be destruction of that house. When it speaketh and hearkeneth for an answer, the man will die, and there will be lamentation." The author of the lamentation rite. That would be the offspring of Abzu, of the deep, of the abyss. The abyss, the realm of Legion.